Oh, it's stuck on my earring. Ow! Wow, I should have probably tried this before. What? Hello lovers, welcome back to Travel Snacks. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about how to stay warm while living in your car in the winter. There's a lot of tips, so let's jump right in. Okay, the first thing I want to say is that when you're living in your car, a car is not set up like a house. It's not insulated. So you have to think of it like, how can I make this car extra padded or insulated so that the heat stays inside the car? I'd say the lowest that it's gotten while I've been on this journey is 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So as it starts getting closer to bedtime, what I usually do is I go to my last pit stop in like a Walmart, go to the bathroom. Then I get in my car and I blast the heater. I mean, like the most highest heat that I can take. Like I'm almost like passing out. It's so hot in here. Like I fill the car with as much heat as I possibly can. I also have heated seats, so I turn those on to like the highest as well. So my body temperature is already like at the highest. I don't know if that's like the safest thing to do, but when you got to get through like an 8-hour night's sleep and it's winter, you got to start somewhere. Then when I get to the place where I'm going to park to go to sleep, I immediately turn the engine off, turn the lights off, and I pull out my windshield shade. And I immediately put this thing on the windshield. It's very thin, you know. You can see it's like very thin. I got this at the 99-cent only store. It was actually not 99 cents, it was $1.99. And it's lasted me for several months already, so good on them. So I have one of these for the front windshield and I have one for the back windshield. Not only does this give a tiny bit of insulation, but it's also great for privacy and it blocks out the light. The next thing is, and this kind of sucks because I got to get out of the car to show you and it's raining. Just gotta suck it up and do it. Oh, thank you God, it stopped raining for like 2 seconds. Oh my gosh. I have my air mattress and I'm gonna show you all this. I have my air mattress and then I have a bunch of layers of blankets. Okay, so first I have my mattress. Then I have my fitted sheet, which doesn't fit because it's a weird mattress. Then I have my flat sheet. Then I have like a bunch of different blankets that I love blankets and I got them like gifts or whatever for Christmas. So I got this one and it's folded in half, so that's like laying on the mattress. Then I have this other little one. These are more like throws. So I have this doubled. And then I have this kind of like more of like a wool one. It's very heavy. And I have that doubled. So I have a bunch of layers on here. And that really matters because not only do you want to cover yourself with layers, but you want to be laying on warm layers as well. You want to like cocoon yourself in a ball of heat. I tried out getting like a sleeping bag, but I don't like that constricting feeling on my feet. So I decided to just bring my main comforter, which is like it's a down comforter, but it's not really down. It's like a knockoff. It was only like $40 on Amazon, and it's so warm and so soft and so comfortable. It's like a queen size, which is probably overkill because it's like takes up a lot of room in my back seat, but it's worth it. So here it is. My big comforter. The next thing in terms of coverage is that it started to get super cold on my journey recently, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an electric blanket just for that extra. So what I've done is I have this. Actually, let me go to the other side so I can show you. I have this electric blanket. Wherever you see like those lines, that's where the electric wire is. And then I always just use the high setting and it's got a plug, and at night I just pull this Jackery power bank and I plug the battery in there. Now right now it's at 27%, so I got to drive around today and get some more power on this thing. But the electric blanket doesn't really like take that much juice, and I've had it running for like an hour or two and it worked pretty well. It didn't drain this. You don't need to use the electric blanket the whole time. The electric blanket is just for like taking the edge off if it gets super, super cold. I got a cheap Sunbeam brand one from Walmart. It was on sale and it was terrible because it didn't really warm me up and it was like shedding all over. So make sure you get a good one. Speaking about staying warm, you can warm my heart by hitting the subscribe button, the notification bell, and throw a like on this video. Now, I know it takes up more space, but I also have a few pillows back there as well. That is really good for cushioning, but it's also good for insulation. You got to think, like, everything that you pack in here is keeping the car warm. My pillow that I sleep with, and if you don't sleep with a like silk or satin pillowcase, you should, because it's good for your skin and your hair. I didn't want to do that for a long time because I thought it was gonna be too cold, but it's not. It's actually really nice, and it's been great. Okay, that's just a side note. When you're living in your car, just know that your back seat is your bedroom, and you're probably not going to use that for anything else. Deck it out with as much like comforting stuff as you can. So because I blast the heater before bed, I almost always go to sleep just in a tank top. And then usually at like 3 or 4 in the morning is when it starts to get like super cold. I always have my sweatshirt just all ready to put on, because you don't want to start out with the layers because you have nowhere to go from there. Keep your sweatshirt under the blanket with you, because if it's out, it's just out in the coldness. But if it's under there, it's like next to your body, you're going to have your body heat on this. So when you put it on, it's just going to feel so nice and toasty. I also have my hall closet, that's what I call it, right here on my other seat. So I have, this is like my Sharpe jacket that I got from Old Navy. Other one from Old Navy. Then I have this other thinner one from Old Navy. I kind of am addicted to Old Navy's sweatshirts and sweaters. It's a good idea to have a variety of sweaters because you can always layer that on in the middle of the night. So far, I haven't had to do that. So I'd say like even just with that sweatshirt being like bundled up under the covers, that's been sufficient. And also on my hall closet, I have a scarf, so I can always wrap that around as well. The next thing is that you should have socks with you, because that's gonna be the next move to keeping you warm. So I have this overnight bag, and I leave it on my bed at the like where my feet go, but up against the seat so it's not in my way. So I have these Mediped compression socks, because I haven't really talked about this on a lot of videos, but when you're in your car for a long time driving a lot, or even if you travel a lot, your ankles can get swollen. It's really not a good idea. I've been really trying to get out and walk more often. So I have these compression socks, and they're also warm. And then I have another pair of cozy socks that I could put as well. Start with your feet. If you're still cold, the beanie. Just put it over your ears. Now, the downfall to just having only a beanie is that you're not covering your face and your nose, which can get really cold because you don't want to have your face under the covers, because then you can't really breathe. I did order a balaclava, and it covered your whole face, and it had like this mesh area for your nose and mouth, but it still felt like suffocating, so I ended up sending that back. So I've been really looking for a solution to warming up my nose, because my nose always gets frozen, like so cold. I think I came up with a solution, and it's gonna look ridiculous, but also when you're cold. About 2 months ago, I made a video called Dollar Tree Haul 2019, and I bought a bunch of things that I could use on this road trip. One of the things that I bought, hot hand warmers. In that video, I said that I'm not gonna use these in the typical way. I had an invention. I think it's gonna work, but I haven't tried it yet, so this is gonna be the first time you guys are seeing it, if it's gonna fail or not fail. I made a little video the other night when it was freezing, so I'll let you watch that first, and then when you come back, I'll show you my upgraded version of what I think will work better than that. It's early in the morning, and this is the time when it starts getting like really chilly, so I just put my sweatshirt on. What's the temperature?
It's 32 degrees outside.
32, but as you can see with just even this camera fogging up, that when you're in an enclosed space, it gets hard to get a bunch of oxygen. What I do is I usually just try to make a little pocket for my face, but then my face gets cold. So I think I might have a solution to just mainly warming up my nose. I picked this up. It's just a scarf. It's cute too. It's got little tassels. Once you rip this open, the pouch starts to heat up, like it's air activated. I just need to cover the top of my nose. You could just put this in here and just roll it like this. So then you could just put it on your nose and kind of flatten it out. Ow, my hair. Ow. Okay, well this isn't... Whoa. No. I mean... What is this? It's cold. I did look up nose blankets, and they do make them, but they look just as ridiculous as this. I think I need to flatten it out a little bit. Like, if you put it... I don't know if this was the most genius idea now? This is a lot of work, but I think it's better than my nose being froze. These are the kind of things you do when you're living in your car in the winter. The longer I'm laying here, the more I feel like this nose thing is working. But I think it does just need to be uncovered a little bit more. So maybe I'll just cut this scarf down. It's only $1. And then, actually, I do have a needle and thread. I could just sew a little pocket. Oh, that'd make it so much easier. Maybe I should start an Etsy store. This is a good idea. That scarf situation will work okay, but I would have to get my little needle and thread and like sew that together. So what I did is I went back to the Dollar Tree and I picked up these 2 headbands. And I think I haven't tried this yet, so maybe it's not. Ow! It's stuck on my earring. Ow! Wow, I should have probably tried this before. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, well, I thought this was going to be a good idea, but my idea is to use this as a nose cover, but this is so tight, it's like squishing my nose down. I look ridiculous. So I was going to take this off. Cut this, along the edge, and then put one of the hot hands inside the little opening. So I think if you had actually, you know what I should do? I could stretch this over my steering wheel for a couple days. No, I'll figure that out. That's my invention and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I have 2 last things to keep you warm. One of the things that a couple people were talking about was having a heater in your car. So I don't know about having an electric heater because I think the power bank is not going to be strong enough for that. I did hear of a little portable propane heater and I was a little concerned because of the propane, but you can use it indoors and in your car, but you have to take some precautions. This is the Mr. Heater and this is the little buddy, and so far I have not had to use this thing. So you do have to buy the propane tanks, and these were 2 for $6.50 at Walmart. So what you do is you just take off the cap, screw the propane on. Oh, no. Okay, so you screw it on until it feels tight. Then you take the base and you put your propane tank into the base. It's pretty tall, even though this is the mini. Push to ignite, and then you have to light it. Did it do it? I don't think so. I smell propane though. Oh, so the most important precaution is to crack a window. And now my car won't start. The most important thing to remember is you have to crack a window. Now I see the flame and I can feel the heat coming out, but burnt out already. I'm not going to do that again because I can't crack my window because my car just died. Basically, it heats up and this turns red, and you have to have ventilation so that you don't die in your car. You're only supposed to use this as a backup, to just kind of warm the car just a little bit. The problem is once you turn it off, it's still hot. And so you have to let this cool down, so you can't really move. You don't know these things until you actually get them and try them in your car, but that's just not a good idea. I don't think I'll ever use that in the car because I'd have to crawl from my back seat to the front seat, turn on the car, roll down my window or open the moonroof, crawl back, put this thing together. I'm if I have to do all that, I might as well just crawl into the front seat, turn the car on, and just put the heater on. So you don't really need this heater. Now, the final thought that I have for keeping warm is that if you just can't handle it in the middle of the night, it's just too cold, then you can either do one of 2 things. You can either go into a store that's 24 hours, I think some CVS's or Walgreens and Walmarts. You can just go in there and walk around. I mean, it's not ideal because you're sleepy and you don't want to just be walking around, but at least you can stay warm. The second thing is that, if you're just that cold, then go get a hotel for the night. Don't ever put yourself in a position that you're going to be in danger because you're too cold. Have a little bit of money set aside so that you can do that. And don't stay in areas for too long that are freezing. So on my travels, I always look at the weather forecast ahead of time. And if it's going to be freezing, then I try to avoid that area. If you use all the tips that I gave you about layering and insulating your car the best you can, you'll pretty much have a good night's rest. Now I gotta call AAA to get them to jump my car. Snack time.